Good morning everyone and welcome back to Dormdrinks. Today we're going to talk about... Wait, there's I think something on the camera. That is much better. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. But what if we want to make booze from this? Today I'm going to tell you how to make apple cider. If you're a student like me, I bet you like to drink. On this channel I'm going to tell you all about making your own wine, mead and all kinds of stuff. This is Dormdrinks. Welcome back guys to another video. Today I'm going to tell you all about making your own apple cider. Now we're students, so we would rather have things quick, easy and cheap. So we're going to make it with apple juice. What we're going to do first is we're going to see what the gravity of this apple juice is. Then we're going to calculate how much sugar we're going to add. We're going to dissolve the sugar in a bit of apple juice, put that in our fermentation device, which is going to be a 1 liter bottle again, and then we're going to add the rest of the apple juice and the pitched cheese from earlier. We have our apple juice in a trial jar and we're going to put a hydrometer in to see the gravity of this apple juice. We just measured our apple juice and we got a gravity of 1.044. We're going to want a gravity of 1.09 in order to get an ABF from around 12%. So we're going to dissolve about 120 grams of sugar in the apple juice and going to add that to our fermentation device. With that, we should get a gravity of around 1.09, which will get our ABF to about 12%. So we're going to get our stovetop back here and we're going to dissolve 120 grams of sugar in some of this apple juice. Again, just keep an eye on it. Don't add too much apple juice, but also not too little. So we're going to move this away, get our stovetop here, and then we're going to dissolve the sugar in some apple juice. We got our stovetop and a little pan here, and I measured out 120 grams of sugar. Now I'm going to add this to our pan, and I'm going to add a little bit of apple juice. Now this is a little bit too, we need a little bit more. Now we're going to need a little bit more than that. Not too much more, but a little bit more. Something like that. Now we're going to wait for this to heat up and dissolve. Then we're going to put this away to let it cool down a little bit. Put it in our bottle. Put the rest of the apple juice in the bottle. Give it a good shake. And then we're going to measure the gravity again and hope that we get around 1.09. Now as you can see, most of the sugar is still sugar because it's not that hot yet. But I'm going to get back to you in about a few seconds. And you're going to see that this sugar is dissolving. Now as you can see, the sugar is starting to dissolve. And it's starting to clear up a bit. There's only a little bit of sugar left. So we're going to keep stirring this and keep heating it up until all the sugar is dissolved. So as you can see, all the sugar is dissolved in the liquid. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this off the heat so it can cool down a bit. And then in a moment we can put this in the fermentation device. And we're going to add the normal apple juice with that. While our solution is cooling down, we're going to clean the bottle that we're going to use for the fermentation. Now, for that I'm going to use the solution that I used in earlier videos as well, which is a solution of tartaric acid and sulfite powder. Now, I stirred it up earlier already and added hot water. So what we're going to do now is we're going to pour it into our fermentation bottle and we're going to give this a good shake. What we're going to do is first we're going to put a little bit of apple juice in there already. I'm going to do this so the temperature changes won't be too radical. Now that you put a little bit of apple juice in here already, I'm going to pour our solution in there as well. So, And we're going to fill it up with apple juice. Now keep in mind that you still have some volume to fill with pitched yeast. So keep that in mind with filling the bottle and don't fill it up too much so that the bottle will overflow when you add the yeast. So I filled it up to a certain extent. Now I'm going to give it a good shake, and after that we're going to measure it again to see what our gravity is at this moment. So we're going to put some of this in the trial jar. So like that. And now we're going to add the hydrometer to see the gravity of this apple juice. We got just a little under 1.09 with a gravity of 1.085, which will do. So what we're going to do now is take this hydrometer out. We're going to put this back into the bottle and we're going to add our pitched yeast. Right now we filled our bottle with the apple juice and we're going to add the pitched yeast. Now the yeast that I'm using is an all-purpose wine yeast, which you can get at a brew market online. I added a little bit of apple juice with that and some nutrients. The nutrients I also added to our apple juice just now. And I'm going to put this with our apple juice. Our yeast is in our apple juice. So now that's all that's left for me to do is to seal up the bottle. Like that. I'm also going to put a little rubber band over it as well. And we're going to prick a little hole in the balloon as well. This way the CO2 can exit the balloon without it exploding. And there you have it. That is our apple cider. I'm going to put this away for 2 weeks again until we're going to put it into secondary. Now what primary and secondary means, I'm going to get into after this, and I'm going to show you how to put our meat into a secondary. Now, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in another 2 seconds. Thank you for watching, guys. I just put our meat from the first video into secondary. We made a whole video around it. However, when we were done filming, apparently our microphone wasn't turned on, so we didn't catch any of the sound, which kind of sucks. However, it's a new setup, so it's still getting used to. Now, next time with wine, which will be next week's video, I'm going to show you how to put something in secondary and what you have to do for that. But for now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about primary and secondary. And I'm going to tell you that our gravity that we got when we put this in secondary was 0.998. Now, what does primary and secondary mean? It's actually quite simple. The primary fermentation is the fermentation that we get when we put all the ingredients together and let it sit for the first time. That's what happens in the first video. In the primary fermentation, most of the sugar is going to convert to alcohol, at least if you have a normal sugar ratio. So, with this meat, most of the sugars from the meat are converted to alcohol, but not quite yet. And there's still some active yeast in the liquid that we didn't filter out yet. And that's why we go to secondary. We move it from one bottle to the other without bottling it, so the yeast can do its last few things in a few weeks or maybe a month before we're going to put it in a bottle. This means that the yeast that's still alive can die down, the last bits of sugar can convert to alcohol, and there are still some yeast progresses that needs to stop before we can bottle it. Now, when it's in secondary, like I said, it will take about 2 weeks to a month, and then we're going to put it in a bottle, and then it has to sit. With meat, it has to sit quite a while, at least half a year. So 6 months in a bottle, and after that you can touch it, you can drink it, and you can actually enjoy it. Now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next week, where I'm gonna brew something totally different, and I'm gonna show you how to put a wine in secondary. You can put any comments or suggestions down below in the comment box, and you can follow me on some few social medias like Facebook, Twitter or Instagram. And all that's left for me to say is drink safe and a good day.